Children are lied to, manipulated, trafficked, molested, pedophiled, and now with this film, we are seeing it more clear than ever what is going on behind the scene.
Super lollies, you can learn a lot from us. Super lollies, yeah, we know a lot of stuff. Super lollies, we can share.
All right. Welcome to a very special episode of the Super Lollies podcast. I'm Anthony Lolly. I'm the dad of the Super Lolly family.
I'm Teresa Jacobian Lolly. I'm the mom at the house.
I'm Love Lolly, and I'm the sister of the house that keeps everyone peace. I'm Legend in the family. I'm the son of the family, and I love all my parents and everybody in the whole wide world.
Well, listen, today's a very special episode because we had our children who are 5 and 7 years old watch The Sound of Freedom. This just came out on the 4th of July, a very, very impactful movie. We highly recommend that you watch it, not alone, not with your friends, not with your peers, but watch it with your children.
PG-13, but Anthony and I went and watched it last night, and we saw that it was very tastefully done. There were maybe a few scenes that I wouldn't want the kids to see, but overall, what they have learned and the awareness that they've gotten was way more worth it for us than skipping those few scenes. So definitely go ahead and watch it no matter what age your children are.
So our podcast show is a video podcast show, and we cover all topics. We just don't talk about it. We live it. We breathe it. We talk to our children about a variety of things.
Protect your kids from pedophiles. Teach your kids to beat the bully. Emotional intelligence is a superpower.
We never talk to them in baby language. We spoke with them as grown-ups because we're raising grown-ups, adults, and not children. Children are lied to, manipulated, trafficked, molested, pedophiled, and now with this film, we are seeing it more clear than ever what is going on behind the scene.
I want to say something. So, they're so wrong in the movie theaters. They said only 13 and up. But actually, young kids should be watching this because this is happening to young kids.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Right.
Not 13.
To be aware, not to trust, right? Because really, how did this start, right?
What stood out to you from this movie?
I was like, oh my gosh, what a weak dad. Because the dad in the movie
Oh, wow, that stood out for you?
let the kids go in the class with this demon girl who was just going to steal them. And she said, pick them up at 7 o'clock.
But so the dad made a mistake. He didn't wait there, or he left her alone. What was it?
He just trusted them and said, oh, okay. He didn't stay by the door till 7 o'clock sharp and saw them taking them.
That's a
Right.
good note.
Yes.
He should be, he was just like, oh, okay. And he just went, and then he went to pick them up and gone.
We have
Right.
a special episode about pedophiles, but for those who are watching this for the first time, can you explain, Legend Lolly, what is a pedophile?
Pedophile is like, if they're your friends, they can probably like trick you, the friend, like take you in the room and then touch my privacy, and then I touch your privacy, and then we see it and stuff.
Does a pedophile have to be some old man? How old can a pedophile
It could be a 10-year-old. It can't be like a 6-year-old or something. It has to be like 10 and up.
10 and up. Why do you think moms and dads are afraid to talk to their kids about pedophiles? Why do you think?
I don't know, but they just because they want the kids to be in the innocent bubble because they raise them as kids. And what mommy said, she's raising us as grown-ups.
But let me tell you something. A lot of the Disney cartoons that we have watched are far, far, far away from innocence. So something like this that actually raises awareness of the reality. Do you think this is more worth watching than Frozen? Like, what do you think?
Yes, this is more Frozen is just like Elsa and Anna. Oh, I'm gonna freeze you. Ba 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 ba. Oh, Disney characters, Disney. Wow, I'm watching Disney instead of these real stuff that are happening in movies.
And I love that movie. I love that movie more.
You should not.
And don't even watch Spider-Man. Don't even watch Mini-Force. Don't watch anything that's cartoons and Disney.
Why?
The parents let the kids watch Disney because they want them to be in a little nice, innocent bubble, not treating them like grown-ups. So they're just watching Disney right there and just talking about Disney all day because they're scared of the kids learning and having nightmares. Nightmares! What do you give a care in the world about nightmares?
If you're ready, sleep training.
Which would you pick, nightmares with movies or actually growing and learning? Which one?
Let's talk about kidnapping, right? Why would somebody kidnap you?
Well, from this movie, we actually found out that they kidnap for business. This is the biggest business right now.
You say God's children are not for sale.
Now, what do you think about prayer and God? How important is prayer and God?
It's very important. Like, it's quadruple.
Like, if you pray, nothing bad will happen to you.
We pray every night, right? We pray. And so as a family, but you mentioned once before, sometimes we don't, we pray to ourselves, but you mentioned that a child that's disconnected to their parents is most likely going to get kidnapped or pedophiled, right?
Yeah, and some of the children that are disconnected, but they don't get kidnapped, they just are lost souls and they just be friends with bad people.
So, how do you make sure that you're connected to your parents?
I tell my parents everything. When I go to my camp,
She does.
I learn everything and I do everything. When I get back, I tell my parents exactly everything I remember. Some things I don't remember, but I tell her everything I remember. And I just say, this is what happened, this is what happened. So my parents know what happened, and I'm connected with them because they know what's going on in my life. Because they have to, because they're
so
my
important,
parents.
love.
And also, I need to say something.
Yeah.
So, love. So if it's very easy to tell your parents that you get molested, you will never forget that ever in your life because that's very easy to say. Okay?
But so what do you do to keep connecting with your parents?
I connect like this. All I do is watch TV and I'm connected.
He's joking.
Legend. Seriously. Legend, how do you stay connected with your parents?
I stay connected. I tell my parents everything, the same thing. And also, I act it out sometimes. And I do everything perfect for my mom and my daddy.
Let me ask you something about pedophiles, because that's what the movie was about, pedophiles.
Are you asking me?
Yes. Can a family member pedophile you?
No.
That's wrong.
Yes.
Can a priest or a religious...
Of course, yes.
I heard a story one time that a priest was being nice and oh, it's so nice.
Oh, I heard that story.
I heard that story that the priest was just being nice and said, I need to talk to her about this God and Jesus stuff. And then, let's see, he pedophiled. He's pretending to be a good one.
Right.
And religious to God, but he's actually not. He's a pedophile.
So guys, what is the secret weapon that these people use to get trust from the children, to use that against them?
Manipulate them.
They manipulate. How do they manipulate children? How does a pedophile manipulate children?
They say to the parents, does she need to learn about God with me privately? And then if the parents are weak, they say, sure, you could do that. If they're weaklings, and they're just okay, and they're just trust.
Would a pedophile use another kid to lure you in?
Of course.
But from this film, we learned that it not only can be a kid that's being used to lure kids in. It could be a popular Miss Columbia or a popular model or even somebody
Right.
more innocent looking
Or a
that
singer.
nobody
Or
or
a
a singer
singer.
or anybody.
A devil can evacuate a singer because singers they're always weak.
That's interesting. Well, you're saying the devil can take possession of a famous person and use them as a weapon to try to.
Of course, because for money and fame, we already know a lot of people
This
sell
girl
their
in the
soul.
movie was the demon. She looked like a little possessed
But
person.
did you see how she was able to capture their trust in a heartbeat? She was like
She was such a good actor.
captivating.
How could she act like a real demon?
It's good acting. Let's talk about the kids that were there. Were you guys are child actors. You're very accomplished. You're a very accomplished legend in your acting career. What did you think about the brother and sister role? Like you guys are brother and
I
sister.
love that part. I love that.
How did you think about the
brother and
acting?
sister was so connected.
Yeah, right. As actors, they were really good. What was your favorite acting scene that they did?
They were hugging each other and trying not to get away from each other.
What were you thinking about during the movie? Since you guys are brother and sister, and this movie was about a brother and sister apart, how did that make you feel?
That made me feel that always appreciate your siblings.
Yeah, huh? That's so true.
And actually, the way you stay close to your parents, that's exactly the way you stay close to your sibling.
Probably this tomorrow probably can be the end of the day, or you can be stolen. Just
Could
make
happen
your life
anytime.
be good.
Anytime, anywhere, right?
So that's another thing. Physically, right? You've been making a very conscious effort lately to physically stay close to your grown-ups. Because, before when you guys were younger, you would run away, you would think it was funny or whatever. But since we started talking about pedophilia and trafficking, and now you're more aware of it, you're actually taking responsibility for your own safety and you're staying closer to your parents. Would you say that?
Of course, yeah.
So was that important for you to find out about it so you can actually say, I'm staying close to my parents, not because they told me so, but because I'm being responsible for my safety?
Yeah, because you always want to tell your parents everything to stay close and always stand your ground, even if a pedophile comes and says, "Oh, hello, come here with me. I got some dessert for you, and you'll be the special one in the church." and always stand to your ground, and you say, "No, I'm not going with you unless my parents say it."
Right. And then also, if anybody does that, right away you should feel in your feeling, why would you want to be alone with me? You're not my mommy. You're not my daddy, right? No adult should want to be alone with a child.
And by the way, in this film, they weren't alone.
Right.
It was one lady, a very trusted Miss Model lady, with many children in the room.
Right.
So luring can happen in any way. This is why you see mommy and daddy sitting there at every single door,
Right.
by every single door, until you finish your classes.
Love and Legend. What if somebody pulled you, Legend, right, to the room and they said, if you don't come in this room with me, I'm going to kill your mommy and daddy?
I would say, still not. I'm going back to my mom and daddy, telling them that. And I'm gonna make you be bad and regret it. And you should kick their freaking butts.
Yeah.
Well, you should definitely throw a huge tantrum. You guys
Right.
know exactly how to do
yell.
that.
And by the way, I told you this in another podcast show, is how to defend yourself against pedophiles. What's the best defense if you find yourself in a pedophile situation?
Kickboxing!
Nope. What would you do if you saw a
Screaming!
crocodile in front of your face? Would you scream or would you run away?
Run away.
Right. The best defense is to scream and run away. You wouldn't go to the crocodile and say, I'm going to tell my mom and dad. That takes too much time. You run. Right away, you run to your mom and dad and you scream. That's what this movie is about, was exposing pedophiles.
Exposing in which forms they can come and in how many separated levels they could be, luring children in. It was like 5 levels to where they got sold to their final destination.
Yeah.
It was the supermodel, then it was the guy that actually, got paid to sell, and then it was this other guys that dispersed them to different countries or different cities, different dangerous islands. It's so many levels, and they really make sure they separate the kids so far away to make it harder for anybody to find them, right?
Yeah.
So this is how you need to know nobody is to be trusted, you guys. Nobody is to be trusted.
Only your friends.
Not even your friends.
I don't
Friend
know.
need to be a friend for a long time.
Not even a friend.
and
period.
earn your trust.
There's
for
no
a long-
earning. There's no
Yeah.
earning
Not
nothing.
Even a friend.
I guess Anthony's more beat up with that.
Don't even trust a friend because they could stab you in the back, or the friend's mom can come in, or the dad.
Well, let me give you another situation. Let me give you
Oh,
another
that's an
situation.
interesting one. A friend's
the-
parents.
A friend's
can
A
parent.
friend's parent could come and pull you aside and pedophile you because they feel safe because we're friends, blah, blah, blah.
By the way, which is
And
why
they
we
feel
never do
safe.
sleepovers. That
Only we could do sleepovers if our parents are next to us and they're always watching us during like sleepovers and all these stuff.
we sleep over together.
That's right. So, any questions about the movie, guys? That you guys seemed like you understood everything. I know Legend was a little upset, even though you're a quarter Ecuadorian and your grandma was with you, and that you do understand Spanish. You were like, "Why Spanish?" Right?
Oh, I was so annoyed. I was like,
Yeah, but you understand why, right? Because the targeted children are the impoverished and low privileged children that live in countries like this. Again, like all of these kids went for that hope of something bigger, something better. Like, I'm going to better your situation. So anybody coming to you in a snaky way, just like the snake in the Adam and Eve in the Bible, right? Eat the apple and you'll find out the knowledge that God doesn't want you to know. It's always something that you don't have and I can give you, right? But if you don't have something, what do? You work hard to
So
get it. You
that's
don't
how-
just ask or expect someone else to gift you.
that's how that when Adam and Eve ate the apple, that's when people started having when their life and death. But if they didn't eat the apple, people would just live forever and never die or go to heaven even. They would just
Right.
stay a human and keep doing that. But Adam and Eve ruined it for the whole world. It's something that a person offers you that's so good. Don't do it and work very hard to get it with your family.
Oh, that's a good
Very
note,
nice.
Legend.
Very nice.
If somebody's trying to offer you something that's basically too good to be truth, it is definitely too good to be truth.
One more thing, and it could start like this. If you're alone in a park and your mommy's not watching and your mommy is on the phone like this and the kids are just playing in the park, a kidnapper could be just a weirdo crook coming around and steal the kid, and then the mom says, "Come on, kid, time to go home." She's like, "Where are you?" And too late. Your kid is already stolen. You should have been watching the kid and not being on your phone like a little.
Yeah, I mean,
Zombie.
you know what we did was there's a guy from Brooklyn. His name is Joey Salads, and we had them watch him staging kidnapping, and it wasn't that difficult.
They could say when they kidnap them, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you your favorite thing in the world and ice cream and get you to arrest."
Yeah, he was luring them in with puppies. He was luring them with ice cream. He was luring them with toys in the trunk of a car. You parents, you have no idea because you've never put your children in these situations. But I definitely suggest, and we'll add some B-roll of the Joey Salads clips.
I got some more puppies. Want to go see the other puppies? Yeah. All right, let's go. Come on. Right over here. Give me a hand.
But it was very impactful. We had our children watch it. But that's the whole point of our show. If you like what you've seen and you want to learn more, please share this with other people. Please watch Sound of Freedom, right, hun? Sound of Freedom.
My opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I was definitely hit with the reality. I was not aware that it is such a big business.
Yeah.
It's bigger than
124 billion. I don't want
business.
to. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. In the movie, they said a bag of drugs
I know,
can
you
be
could
taken once.
You could sell that
Sell that
once,
one time.
but
But
a
a
child
child
you
you could
sell
sell
5 to 10 times a day,
for the next 5 to 10 years.
10 years.
So,
And that was like,
and it's a
oh my
big,
gosh.
big business. And it's
I
very
never
interesting.
knew that.
So we actually had a pedophile situation in one of our real estate properties. We're in a real estate business.
I remember that.
And we got a phone call and a knock on the door from the FBI. And they said, there's a person using a server in one of your properties, and we need your help with this. And it was a property not too far from where we live. And we actually met this tenant. They were a newlywed couple. And,
But the newlywed.
they just got married. And
Like
young people,
perfect looking
people.
couple.
So they asked us for access and whatever. Anyway, we got him in the building, and they, I guess, raided the guy's place. Somehow or other, he put the laptop in the bathtub, and he had been sharing naked children pictures on his Twitter. And the FBI, because we had a daughter that was 6 months old, so I was worried because he actually interacted with us when we were walking on the stroller and all that stuff. And I'm like, how young were these kids? He said, not as young as that, but certainly young. He said, do you want to see? I said, I don't want to see.
There's just a lot of mental sickness is what's happening.
Yeah.
Mental sickness, this pedophilia, it really, it's the root of all evil
Yeah.
at this current time. And it needs to be stopped.
Well, it was interesting what they said in the movie. It took 5 years. This movie was made 5 years ago.
And they
it
could not
wasn't-
release it.
Could not release it because of so many roadblocks. And a lot of famous people are behind this movie.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are against it as well.
Of course.
Behind the scenes.
And
So spread it around the world so there's more people that could be good, and then the whole world is nice,
Right.
and there's no more pedophilia, no more psycho weirdo paths.
well, Jim Caviezel said it the right way, right? If more people can watch this film, we can actually stop this. And Mel Gibson said that we can stop this by just spreading the awareness.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Our future is our children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness.
I really sometimes wonder what kind of childhood did these pedophiles and sickos had, and you think they should just seek help, mental help, rather than spreading it to the next generation and seeing the suffering. Does that fuel them? Do you think when they watch this suffering, it makes them happy because they went through some sort of sick
I don't
experience?
care. I think they should die. In the state of Florida, they give the death penalty to pedophiles.
Guys, go watch Sound of Freedom, starring Jim Caviezel, and he has a great message at the end of the film. Stick around at the end of the film. He really goes deep into spreading awareness, and so does Mel Gibson, about spreading awareness, and that's where it starts. Stopping this evil from spreading. And guys, I actually want to thank from the bottom of my heart Angel Studios for putting together this movie and fighting through every hurdle that they could for the past 4 or 5 years, and to bring this to the mainstream film theaters. And I've actually not seen the movie theaters this packed since 2013. Even then,
Yeah,
right?
Even then.
I
This
mean,
was exemplary.
we could not even get seats. This was
Yeah.
amazing. There's millions of children that are still in child slavery. They're not enjoying their lives as children. They don't have their mommies and daddies with them. They're with strangers in strange places, and strange things are happening to them every single day. And they don't even know if they're going to be alive tomorrow. They don't even know if they're healthy or sick. It's really sad. So would you guys like to send prayer for them and really add all of them to our prayers?
God, please help the kids who are getting molested and trafficked and all these bad stuff, for them to have a better life and really be happy and stop getting this to happen, and making this life better so nobody starts getting molested. And I really want you to
help the world to be a better place and stop doing molesting stuff and stuff like
And
that.
God, please give power to more people like Tim Ballard to really end this disaster.
Amen. And ending it on an even higher positive note, us as the Super Lollies, we actually have a theme song to the show. We'd love to play it for you guys. And you guys can be the super version of yourself. We're the Super Lollies.
And that's the start of a powerful family
Right.
and preventing of your children being
You
stolen.
could be the Super Joneses, the Super Smiths.
Super Lollies.
A lot of stuff. Super Lollies.
How it goes. Super
You just gotta watch the show. Shout out to Ben Franco and the whole production team for this song. Awesome. And shout out to the stars of the
Legend,
actual
go for it.
song. Legend, I'm gonna be a billionaire.
I'm love. You're gonna be an actress for life.
I'm mommy. Teach your kids to choose happiness.
I'm daddy, gotta teach them while they're young.
Super Lollies.
Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. God bless
For you.
and good night.
Cheers, we're drinking alcohol.